12 large curls, and then women who get pregnant get one more shot at curlier, tighter curls. Like hyper sensitive. We're live. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad you're here, but I've got to loop in those wonderful Instagram people. Let's see if they're ready. Oh, they're ready. So I'm so glad you're here. It's the live. I've got Renee with me. We're going to talk to her in just a few minutes. First, you know the drill if you've been here before. What's going on at the store? First and foremost, well, tonight I'll be here teaching after close, but that is for the Year 2 herb class. If you are interested in participating in any portion of the 3-year herb program, I really recommend starting with Year 1. I've had students yell at me that it's not possible to jump in the middle. Those classes start every September. Full payment is due by the first class. So if you need a payment plan and you're interested, come and talk to us in May or June so we can set you up with a monthly payment plan that will get you paid in full by the time class starts. That said, after that, Standing Stones and Renee's book signing are this Saturday. So who's coming to those? Let us know if you're interested. I'll see you in the back chat too for those of you who don't catch the live. But Standing Stones today, it's the Weird Arrow thing. We're still involved in the Weird Arrows thing. If you've seen their posters here, you understand. So let's see. This is going to be February 22nd, which is going to be auras and shielding. So that should be a really good one. They have been full of energy and they've just been absolutely wonderful doing these classes. Folks are totally impressed. It's a really good crew. Old crew was wonderful as well, but it's good that these guys are involved now. On Sunday, the 23rd, we'll have our Reiki share. So if you're a Reiki 1, 2, or 3 practitioner, come in. It's a free event here at noon in the classroom, right here in this room. We just do a Reiki sharing, that's all. Give a little Reiki, get a little Reiki. It all works out, it's fun. And then at 4 is Chris Stock's Palmistry 101 class. That's a 4-part class that you can start at any one of the 4 classes on. It's a by donation class. He is full of information about palmistry from around the world. He is an encyclopedia, just a walking encyclopedia on this stuff. So if you've ever been interested in palmistry, I personally have friends who have raved about his classes and taken them twice. They found them that valuable. Wow. Totally recommend it. And of course, if you're tuning into this, just know that we are doing energy work shorts on Sundays, meditation Mondays, magical Tuesdays, herby Thursdays. I've added stones on Fridays. I'm probably going to start doing divination on Saturdays. Those are all short, so those are all about 5 minutes. So tune into those. Those are fun. I should also let you guys know that next month, the Reiki 1 workshop will be on March 16th. So if you're interested in, I see what happened there. If you are interested in your Reiki 1, then you'll want to sign up for that. And although our posters say that I'm teaching, I'm not teaching. I have a guest teacher for you guys. So Mary will be in a few weeks to share her information and her philosophy about teaching Reiki. It will be wonderful. Also next month, on Sunday the 9th, will be Nancy Antonucci's Tarot Lab. So come check that out if you're all interested in tarot. It's a few exercises led by tarot expert and author Nancy Antonucci. She is a delight. And she has her own presence on these social medias, so check her out there. But every class is packed. So even Super Bowl, I was surprised. I was very impressed. It was a smaller crowd on Super Bowl Sunday, but there was a crowd on Super Bowl Sunday. And of course, at the first Sunday of the month, which will be the 2nd of this coming March, is Gateways to the Gods. We have samples of one entheogenic herb or a blend of herbs that include one entheogenic herbs. We talk about those herbs, their medical information, their history, their folklore, anything we can gather about it. I share with you folks, including any cautions you need to know. You have the opportunity to sip a sample while we're doing that discussion. Then we take a little break. And then because this is a sample size, we push that experience as far as we can by going on a guided meditation. Wow. And then I'm there for the rest of the day. So if anybody has any problems, nobody ever has, but if anybody has any problems or issues, I'm here. You can check in with me and we'll work through whatever the issues are. So that's what's happening. I just realized I forgot my fancy lighting. Sorry, folks, the lighting looks a little weird today. But I wanted to also talk about our fabulous readers. There will be some changes to this schedule because Tracy is leaving for a little medical leave for a few months. There'll be some recovery time for her. So she'll be out again like she was in early winter. We're looking forward to her coming back. We know she's excited to come back when she can, but it'll be a few months that she'll be out. So right now, you can get a reading from Tracy on Sundays from noon to 6 or Thursdays from noon to 6, but that'll be stopping by the end of the month. So come grab your readings while you can. Paul will still be doing dream interpretations from 2 to 6 on Mondays. Raven Wolf's schedule will be changing up a little bit, just so you knows. But he'll still be here 2 days a week, 3 days a week, something like that. Noon to 2 on Saturdays, and then 3 to 6 on some other afternoons during the week. Winter has left us. I've been auditioning replacement readers. I'm excited. I've got a couple of readers I think we're going to bring on, including one to cover the portion of Saturday that Ravenwolf isn't able to cover. So we'll see where that lands. But yeah, there's a couple really good folks that I think you guys will love coming into the play to substitute for Tracy and to pick up some hours that we've just had hanging. So I'm thrilled by that. Now to talk about what's come in this week. We of course have had a book shipment in. I didn't grab any of those. I'm not sure if there are any new releases in that one, to be honest, but all of the colors of the mini candles are back. However, they've shorted us on the black ones. So if you really need black mini candles, oh my goodness, come in right away and grab them because we just did not get that many. And in case you're wondering how on earth you will use your mini candles, let me tell you, it is all okay because all of the mini candle holders are back. Yes, they are. A rainbow flame colors, blue with silver stars, blue with gold stars, and then the gold and the silver pentacle in each of the black and the white mini candle holders. So I'm thrilled to have them back. And the next herb order is going in shortly. I also have a new line of product come in from a creator here in town. You might have seen her work if you've been at the right fairs, because that's the only place she's been trying these products out, or at various art fairs, things like that. So I have a Cedar and Sage bundle with some Palo Santo pre-packed for you guys from her. And she's got 2 other kinds of smudges, so rosemary and sage. But she's also got the most cute yield bag of witchy shit. In small, in that like the sort of the ideal size to carry a deck or even a large deck, frankly, or your makeup. It's really probably originally a makeup bag. Or you can get the big tote. Also loads of fun. She's got a ton of stuff like little spell bottles. This is the Dream spell bottle. You can see it in the packaging there. She's got some intentional baths. This one happens to be the Life of Luxury. Great way to say prosperity magic. We've got this is the protection little wish bottle. These are the mini wish bottles. They're adorable, and they will definitely do the job. A Love Thyself ritual bath. And another mini charm for healing. What else has she got? I grabbed a bunch of her stuff, but I did not grab everything. I could not. Oh yes, and then she's got some soaps that she's making. A lot of her stuff is infused with herbs. There's a smoking blend. There's all kinds of fun things. So we've got Citrus Explosion. I don't know if you guys can see. There's even a little charm in there, a little triple pentacle charm. And she's got a Lang Lang and Jasmine. You'll always know which one you're looking for because they're different colors and or different shapes.
Very pretty.
Aren't they gorgeous? And then there's the rosemary and lavender bar. So they're just adorable and wonderful. So come down, support another local craftsperson. I've worked with her twice to get this stuff in the system. She is patient. She is forthright. I absolutely think she's adorable. So come down and check out what she's got on offer. I think you'll really love it. That said, it is time for the star of the day. This is Renee.
Hi.
Renee Valois. And you've written a fabulous book, right?
Yep.
Okay. I am looking at my battery and the fact that we blew a fuse. So I'm going to ask you to explain your fabulous book for a moment while I walk around the table and get things going.
It's called Collecting Spirits, Life with Ghosts, Guardians, and Guides. And it talks a lot about ghosts. It also, it has a lot of true stories that I experienced and other people have told me about. And it also has ways to manage troublesome ghosts and how to tell the difference between, certain types of spirits. It has a little bit about angels, not very much, and then more about spirit guides and how to contact your spirit guides, and how to boost your intuition, methods of doing that using tarot and oracle cards and such like that, and runes and such. So, but the thing that inspired me to do this was I was told all my life that ghosts were real, and I think most people think that. That's what society teaches you, and often your parents say, "Oh, they're just made up." And Hollywood certainly makes them into ridiculous stuff. So, and then I had an experience, which totally changed my mind instantly because it was possible. What happened was impossible, and there was no explanation for it except the one I got from somebody. So, basically, I was having a massage. This was quite a few years ago. I was younger, more attractive then. I was naked under a thin sheet on the table, and we were in a room by ourselves in a nice spa. And there was a counter across the room, and suddenly, in the middle of the massage, a metal tray that had been sitting on that counter with metal utensils, cosmetic tools, flew off the counter onto the floor with a loud crash. And I was like, nobody else was in the room but the masseuse and me. And I was like, what the heck? What just happened here? And she's like, oh, that's like the second or third time it's happened, always with women. She said, I think the guys get a little excited. And I'm looking around, there's no guys around. I'm like, what guys? And she goes, well, this building, which was a very old building, used to be a Masonic temple.
Oh.
And some of the guys stuck around. It's haunted. And I was like, what? What? I mean, what happened was impossible. It broke the laws of gravity, physics. Things don't fly around. Heavy things don't fly around. The windows weren't open. It would have taken a tornado to knock it off anyway. So I was like, what? As we walked down the stairs, we were on the third floor. I said, is there stuff happen here? Oh, yeah, tons of stuff. And so I'm like, oh my God. No, I think the guy intended to scare me, the ghost. Scare me. And I was like, no, I was not scared. I was delighted. First off, it proves that there's life after death. We all hope there is.
Yeah.
But they're here continuing on.
Yeah.
Secondly, the world instantly became more magical and amazing to me that ghosts are real. And I was thinking like a fairy tale, fantasy, whatever. What else is real that I didn't think was real? It started me down the whole path.
It gets back to that. I will mangle the quote, but I'll get the intent. It was Roald Dahl who said something about if you don't believe in magic, you will never see it.
Yeah, I think that's true. Although in my case, I didn't believe in this.
And it slapped you in the face.
Hit me upside the head, yeah. And my whole perspective on things just went, totally changed. And as a result of that, I mean, first off, I said, I'm going to come back here for all my cosmetic and, hair, whatever it needs, because I want to have another experience. I never had another experience so far there, but I heard tons of stories. I'd always ask them, what else has happened lately? And they'd tell me these amazing things, and some of that's in the book. I think of it as the temple of the ghosts because of all the activity they have. And they would ask me not to tell anyone what place it is. They're terrified and scared of all their mind. So I'm keeping our secrets.
Well, I'm sincerely hoping then that it's not the building that was featured in somebody else's book about ghosts, and I won't say where, but it's in the title.
Oh,
I'll show you later.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
They've been very careful asking people, please don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Although I love it. It made me want to go there. Actually, I was like, oh, this is so cool. But I'm like, nobody has ever told me about their paranormal experiences. Is it really rare? And that's why I've heard about it. So I started going around to people and saying, I had a paranormal experience once. Has anything like that ever happened to you? Over and over, people would say, I never told anyone this because I was afraid they would think I was crazy. And then they would tell me this amazing thing that happened to them that was like, oh my God. So I had not at that point decided to write a book, but I was so intrigued and delighted by this that I would go home right away and type up the story just for my own records. Because I thought, oh, that's cool. And over time, I got more and more of them. And I dragged my poor husband to haunted locations. Whenever we went on trips or whatever, like, we're going to stay in this haunted B&B or this haunted place. And, I talked to people there. And I ended up taking classes. I took classes from well-known psychics, how to develop psychic ability and kind of connect with your spirit guides and nationally known people. And, it's a great adventure. I love it. I'm so much happier knowing all this stuff than I was before I knew it. Life was kind of, whatever. And that's one reason I wrote the book too. I wanted people to feel a more magical life, but also to feel like this is a doorway for them to talk about their And so many
Yes.
people are still afraid to talk about their experiences. And it's the best kept secret in the world.
It
People
is.
don't realize how common it is because nobody's talking about it. I mean, you might watch a ghost show on TV, but that's not the same as somebody telling you their experience.
I know it probably took me 25 or more years before I spoke with family members, and it was hilarious for my ghost story, which there were two ghosts in two different spots in a house, to have my two youngest uncles and my grandmother, rear around, oh yeah, no, that's so and so and so and so. Yeah, no, yeah, no. And tell me their stories immediately.
Oh, that's great. So they knew who ghosts
I
were.
knew exactly who they were.
Were they relatives?
One was a direct relative and one I would say was an indirect relative. Okay, it's a story, it's a tale. It's going to be a little bit like Frank McCourt's Tis, if you remember that big literary hit about impoverished Irish people in the early 20th century. So, and I have to tell that to tell this. It's one of those stories. So my great grandfather became a widower and promptly, rather quickly actually, abandoned the children of his first marriage and left to come to America. He used chain migration. I'm pro chain migration, by the way. I actually think it's really important, and we can argue about that later if you want. And he married a widow, an Irish American, an Irish immigrant widow here in America, in Brooklyn, because that's where you went. Yeah. So he raised that family. That's the family he raised. And so one of the two relatives in that house, and it was the worst of the two, it was the yucky one. That person was from that step family. So, and there's no genetic, we have a familial name in common. My mother's maiden name has in common with the descendants of that second family because he adopted those kids. But we have no close genetic relationship.
So you're descended from the original.
I'm descended from the
children.
original children, and
Okay.
everybody else. Hi, Brooklyn, Mulrains. Hi, yeah, I see you. But my great grandfather, that immigrant, died in one of the bedroom, in the nice bedroom, actually in the good bedroom in the house, and it was an uneasy place to be. It was weird. And I can argue that I might have picked up as a toddler on family social cues for that one. I can logic that one away. I can't really logic the next one away because one, it was substantially different in feel, it was creepy, and two, it was in what functioned primarily as a hallway in the basement. So the only cause I had to walk through that, it was never a stop in that space. Nobody stayed in that space. It was never used by me as anything other than I walked through to get to the backyard. This is a just post brownstone. Now this is me saying anything to Minnesotans, but just post brownstone house in Brooklyn. So to get to the backyard, you had to climb down to the basement, to go down the basement stairs, walk halfway through the house, come out the house, and then walk upstairs to get to the backyard, to get to what we call the postage stamp. That spot, and there was a doorway, there was like an archway, a doorway along that hallway. It wasn't really a hallway, but functionally, that's how it was used. And that was the creepiest place in the entire house. And it was, in fact, the creepiest place in the entire world, as far as I was concerned. It was super creepy. I hated it. So, and I keep this to myself as a toddler. I mean, like 2, 3 years old, I felt this way. And I never say a word until my late 20s. So I say it took like 25 years, it did. And it turns out that was that step relative who had become a widower himself, left with many young children, good Catholics, many young children to raise, so he hung himself there.
Wow. This is very interesting because I can jump on that. Something that's not in my book.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was in college and started arguing with my dad about why would anyone commit suicide? But it's so painful. They're so cruel, the people they left behind. And he said, you don't understand. There's reasons why people do this, reasons why people do it. I was like, there can't be a, I didn't do everything.
Yeah.
And he goes,
you're 19, you're 20. You know everything.
Anyway, he at some point he goes, someone close committed suicide. And then I'm like, I knew his mom had died young. I said, did your mom commit suicide? And he's like, no. I said, did she? He goes, no. And then I went like, who did it? Finally, he said, the man who built this house in the 1920s committed suicide in it. And this is the house I bought from them when they retired, and I raised my kids there. But anyway, And that explains something, which I had never told my parents or my siblings or anything else, and I didn't, in fact, bring it up until I was working on this book. I told my sister, who had some of the adventures with me, I said, you know, when I was a kid, I would challenge myself to walk up the stairway of the house in the dark, no lights on, when nobody else is up there. And I would always turn to the right to go down the hall, and I'd feel a man standing in the bedroom doorway. I couldn't see him, but I could feel him. I felt it was a man. But I didn't feel threatened by it. I would walk down the long hallway to our bedroom and go there. My sister said, oh my God, when I was a little girl sharing that bedroom with you, I felt a man come in the middle of the night and stand in the doorway looking at us. And I was terrified, she said. I would lie there going, oh, no, he can't tell that I'm awake. I'll pretend that I'm asleep. I don't want him to know I'm awake. She was afraid you'd come over and look at her. So she had a very different reaction to this man. I didn't find him threatening, but I felt him. I guess I've never been afraid of ghosts. I didn't identify him as a ghost. To me, a ghost was a white, flowy, transparent person floating around. I just thought there was this guy there. And I never mentioned it to anybody, and my sister never mentioned her experience to anyone. And so it's not in the book. It was after I read the book, actually, that we talked about it.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting, especially for people who encounter this stuff as kids, that, sorry, I'm messing with mics, by the way. We've been having an issue with microphones, and I'm working on it. I think it must be normal if it happens when you're very young. So why would you talk about it? Because it's just what it is. I'm pretty sure that's why I didn't mention anything, and no adult mentions it. So you're not cued to talk about it as a kid.
That's true.
And then as you grow up, you start to learn that it would be considered weird to talk about. So you have another reason to keep your mouth shut. But I also think if you're hit over the head with it that young, you almost can't help but either become more open to all these possibilities and being able to see magic because you have seen it, you understand there's energies out there. And the other possibility to me is that you completely cut everything off because it's just too much, which is, I think those are both understandable reactions to the whole process.
Well, what opened the door for me, obviously, was the poltergeist.
Yeah.
Up to that point, I had forgotten about the child. It wasn't until I started talking about ghosts, but people were like, oh yeah, that was actually a ghost. To me, a ghost was like white, floating. It was like an apparition. It was something you felt.
A Hollywood thing.
Yeah, Hollywood for sure. So I didn't even identify that as a ghost until I was an adult. I go, wait a minute. That was probably the guy who committed suicide in our house. Who was not there anymore. I mean, I actually bought my house. I always loved that house.
Yeah.
I never was scared, like my sister. I mean, some of my siblings were like, oh my God, that house.
But haunted, haunted.
But so I bought it when my parents retired to their beautiful house on the lake.
Nice.
And raised my kids there, and they never had any experiences. I feel he was long gone by then. He did move on.
Well, I do think that if you can speed up the process by awareness and taking care of it, following some of the tips in your book, that's great.
Yeah.
But I also think these problems will often self-resolve as soon as the entity understands, if it's a ghost, if it's somebody who's passed.
If it's a ghost and not something.
Then as soon as they understand that, no, the people who are here love my work, they love what I did building this house, they're going to take care of what I valued going forward. And part of that for me comes out of the logic of research and work done on what people talk about if they have time to talk about what they want before they die. So for people who have a longer, more protracted death, which is becoming the norm in America and the rest of the first world, anywhere where there's enough money, the death process can be quite drawn out now. And over again, people talk about what they value. I, for example, was very, very touched that really what my father went on and on and on about as he went through his dying process were his wife and children. It was clear that's truly what he valued in life. And that's the sweetest thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
But people talk about that piece of family jewelry that they inherited, or they talk about the family farm and whatever's valuable, whatever they like fixated on, they'll talk about, even if their brain is not, like my father had Lewy body dementia during the end. So he wasn't with it. These conversations were not necessarily coherent, but you could tell what he valued. And I think, clearly this person valued the house and wanted to know it would be well cared for. And as soon as that was established in their mind, so to speak, they could go. They could move to the next space they needed to go to. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it reminds me too that some ghosts are very attached to things. Like they might attach themselves to their favorite car and go with it wherever it goes, and you're like, really? Or the bedroom set that they love so much, or whatever. They'll attach themselves to things or to places a lot of times, and they're not forcibly attached there. It's their choice.
Yeah.
And anyone who dies has free will still. You can stick around. You're supposed to go into the light, but you can stick around. You know, for a while if you want. And some of them, I guess, they're like you said, there's some that are very attached to a house. Or so they stick around, but they're not trapped there. Some people think ghosts are trapped. No,
they're by and large. I don't think an actual ghost is trapped. If we're talking about a deceased human, they have a concern, they have a worry, or they're annoyed. Don't like the people who moved into my house.
Don't breathe.
Yes.
That's why you hear about a lot of activity when people start renovating houses because the original owner is still there and is mad that they're making changes to things that they thought were better the way they were before or whatever.
Or you inherit that piece of jewelry, but they didn't want you to have it. They wanted it to go to somebody else. So they're attached to that piece of jewelry and they're going to make sure you have bad luck every time you wear it.
Because darn it, this isn't what I wanted. So, you know, they're still stuck in the kind of egocentric mindset. They haven't gone to a place where they have a broader vision.
Yes.
Which is hopefully what they will get when they go to the other side. And on the other hand, some stay around because of love. And they want to kind of watch over their loved ones to make sure they're okay. And they find out after a while they can't really do much. It's an unfortunate thing, and then they might move on. But I do have stories in my book about some who's stuck around because they're caring about their and
I think about traditional mourning periods, and I have to wonder if the traditional mourning period in various cultures is related to how long that relative generally wants to stick around if they're watching over their families. Like in the US and in much of Europe, for a very long time for women, it was 2 years.
That is a long
time. Men, it would be 3 months, which I actually think is more related to not trusting men to raise children.
Oh yeah, they want to, I wouldn't even know. Men tend to, in my experience, when men are women are divorced, they get married much faster, it seems like, than women do. Like the remarried. It's like they don't want to be single. Gotta have that woman. So it's interesting. And also people who don't believe there is a life after death, I think a lot of times will stick around because they're terrified. They're like, oh my God, or whatever. You know, it's like, I didn't believe in an afterlife and I didn't act as if there was one. Now am I going to be troubled? Am I going to be punished? Am I going to be punished? So there's that fear.
And I have to say that I don't know what's coming next. And I'm okay with not knowing what's coming next. It doesn't bother me in the least. I think using what's coming next as an excuse to manipulate people into behaving in particular ways is just evil. So I
don't think you should.
I have a dislike of that.
There's a lot of religions that do
But
that.
if when you die, you go to a place where you will encounter the creator of the universe, who we are told over and over again in multiple religions created the universe out of love. That's the overriding emotion. And they're omnipotent and they're omniscient. Then they know how you lived your life, and they understand the intention of how you lived your life. So it does not matter if you did not use the right magic words, whether that's, in nomine Padre.
I agree. I think if God is love, is most, maybe religions, like smaller religions say, honestly, and the whole universe seems to be built on that.
Built on that idea of love.
And also I thought, if you think of the source or creator as a parent, what parent is going to throw their child into horrible torture for the rest of eternity because they did something they didn't like? Not too many. Maybe there's some.
You say that, but I'm pretty sure that we have listeners who are going, my parents kicked me out when I was not done with high school. Now my life is going to change again because the bad parent is going to start making laws.
Well, there is some of that. You're right.
But it's a rarity.
Hopefully it's a rarity.
That's what we're hoping.
I mean, if you love your progeny, you're not going to torture them, basically, is what I'm saying. If you don't love them, you can be hard. But if the source loves us, and they're going to treat us kind of like they're not going to torture us for eternity because we didn't do this one thing. Anyway,
that's your one day.
And I kind of did try to stay away from religion,
which is good.
I kind of wanted to appeal to people from vast variety of backgrounds because I have friends who are Muslim and Buddhist and witch and Christian and all different kinds. So I want them to all.
So I tend to think in terms of universal energy or universal,
I mean,
rather than giving it a more specific label.
Because ghosts are across all belief systems pretty much.
Everybody's got ghosts.
And also I think angels and then spirit guides are maybe a more modern understanding
something like an angel
of an
energy.
angel and guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're great. Wonderful.
And I do think it's interesting because in things like massage and meditation and Reiki, sometimes I will see, and I can't say it's really seeing, it's more sensing, oh, this client has 3 spirit guides. There's somebody there. I don't know if this is a relative. I don't know what this is, but there's something there looking out for them. And my response is always, how cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is so cool. You're sensing them.
And for myself as well. Sorry, once again, monkeying with the microphone. Like, are you really on?
Yeah, hopefully it's picking up stuff.
It seems to be, but it seems to be self-turning off because every once in a while I look at it and there's no little light on. So I'm not sure. We're working with it. We're trying. So, and I've been doing this for so long, and we started with no microphone that I'm used to speaking, so you guys can definitely hear me. So apologies if Renee is not coming through loud and clear every time. But, oh gosh, it's already 11:44. So childhood ghosts, forgotten about.
Yeah.
College-aged experience starts to bring everything back. And then, and you start collecting stories. So what motivated you to actually put out a book on all of this?
Well, several reasons. Like I said, I felt like I wanted to create an avenue for people to talk about ghosts and feel like they can talk about ghosts. I wanted people to be less afraid of dying. I wanted to give people tools to deal with ghosts.
Yeah.
I definitely have a lot of tools about how to calm down your ghosts, if you need to try to get rid of them, what you can do. And also to talk to loved ones who passed on, and stuff like that. I basically put a lot in here, how to smudge, all different kinds of different things. Using various tools, like I said, work with tarot and stuff. How to techniques to boost your intuition, locations, people that are good to take classes from. Of course, you guys are great to take classes from too. So I wanted it to be fun, but also a toolbox, and hopefully open people's minds to the idea that there's more to life than just what you see.
Yeah.
And more to life than maybe what you've been told, whatever your religion is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that there's more out there than was dreamt of in your philosophy.
Yes, exactly what Shakespeare said. He got it, and I don't know if he saw ghosts. He certainly had ghosts in Hamlet.
Yeah. Well, I know for me that it is my personal belief that those early experiences then sort of attuned me to this. So that, like random things happen. Like I'm 12, my mother's taken me to work for the day, which is on the St. John's University campus in Minnesota, not the one in upstate New York, but the one in Minnesota. I'm sure there are other St. John's universities, so it's the two I'm aware of. And I'm walking through the woods. I'm just out having a great time walking my way around the lake that's there. And because I got nothing better to do because I'm going to be bored all day at my mom's work. And there was a spot on the trail that's weird. It's uncomfortable. I don't know why it's uncomfortable, but it's weird. And I keep walking because I'm going to walk to the original church, which is on the other side of the lake. I got to get all the way around this little lake. And I come back, and I'm not thinking about it. It's weird again.
Oh.
And this is consistent. It stayed. That one spot stayed weird. And I have not been there for a very long time. It might be gone. I don't know. There might be different trails now. I don't know. Apparently, they just let some monk go back there with a tiny little bulldozer and make trails periodically.
So did you ever find out if anything happened?
I have no idea. And I'm okay not knowing.
Because you might not want to know, depending on what it is.
There is that, but I'm okay not knowing. Just the fact that it was something I could sense was a weird enough experience that I'm like, okay, I wonder what else is out there. Apparently, it's not just my weird family, it's the rest of y'all too.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people can sense energy, even if they don't see ghosts.
Yes, yeah.
They might be able to sense there's somebody here, or somebody's looking at me, and I can't, we have that sense.
Yeah.
I think everyone has a certain amount of psychic or intuitive ability.
Yes.
Some are born with more, just like some people have better art and talent from birth, but I think we all have it, and we can all increase our talent and our skill.
Yep. And I think the exercises in this book are very good for that. I will also recommend there's one book we do offer that I order almost every week, to be honest.
Wow.
About what psychic type are you? So it goes through 6 different possibilities, and where are your stronger suits within that range of 6 possibilities? Do you hear things more than you see things? Does it just pop into your head and you think it and you don't know why you thought it? Or is it more of a gut instinct feeling? All of those possibilities possibilities get covered. And I think your exercises do a good job of sort of unifying multiple approaches so that if one method maybe isn't your strong suit, that's okay. There's an exercise in there that kind of covers another method.
Right, I did mention the clairs, but
Yeah.
because I actually did, I took a lot of classes and they talked about, well, have you had this experience, this experience, because it kind of helps you figure out what are my strengths?
What to focus on for
Yeah,
doing this work.
what really works for me,
Yeah.
that you know.
Yeah. So yeah, it's are you clairvoyant? Are you clairsentient? So when we say the clairs, the 5 clairs, these are older words. So like think Victorian era, Edwardian era terms for different types of psychic abilities, because they were into it back then too, big time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's even a town in upstate New York that's all it was. It was
spiritualists.
Yeah, it was just spiritualists. That's all that lived there. It was called Lilydale. Yes, that is a suburb of St. Paul.
A different Lilydale, yes.
But I've always wondered if maybe they're,
that's
if the
interesting
people who
thought.
started Lilydale in Minnesota were maybe spiritualists from New York.
Oh,
and I don't know. I've
interesting.
never tried to check it out. I have no
That's
idea.
a good question as to where that name came from.
Yes. So I think the secret word for today will have to be ghost. I just think it has to be ghost today. So come back when you can, come into the shop for the signing tonight, which will be, I'm running out of battery power, by the way, guys.
What is the signing tonight?
Or not signing on Saturday. At 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, right, like an hour after the Standing Stones class gets done, we'll be doing the book signing here. We'll have a little Nosh, we'll have a little Dev. It'll be fabulous. You'll get to ask all your ghostly questions.
And tell me your ghost stories.
Yes, got to collect those ghost stories. Book 2, it's coming out.
Well, I add a new ghost story every week to my website.
Oh, perfect.
More spirits. And so every single week.
Where's your website?
CollectingSpiritsGhosts.com.
Nice.
So I will have to get on my figure out cards and the signing.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're gonna say goodbye just because we've been battling with the heat and the power supply, and my battery's gonna run out. So, blessed be everybody. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you very soon.